Admirez la très belle façade de cette église.
Comme elle est...
Admirez la très belle façade de cette église.
Comme elle est belle. Est-ce que toutes les églises de France sont aussi belles que celle-ci?
Elles sont belles, oui. Vous voyez ici l'abbaye aux hommes.
La quoi?
L'abbaye aux hommes. C'est le nom de cette église. C'est en même temps une abbaye et une église médiévale. Passons par ici pour aller voir l'abbaye.
Mon oncle, quelle est donc l'histoire que vous voulez me raconter?
Guillaume le Conquérant a fait construire cette église pour apaiser le pape à Rome. Mais commençons par le commencement. Allons voir si le château de Guillaume est encore là.
Est-ce que c'est loin?
Non, ce n'est pas loin. Nous pouvons y aller à pied.
Alors allons-y. Passons par le parc. Est-ce que c'est bien là, le château?
Oui, c'est une partie du château. Au XIe siècle, le duc de Normandie, qui s'appelait Guillaume, demeurait à Caen. Son château était ici.
Il n'a pas l'air luxueux.
On a détruit une partie du château pendant la Libération. Je le regrette beaucoup.
Je suppose qu'il y avait un fossé.
Oui, oui, le voilà là-bas. Allons le voir. Voici une des vieilles portes.
Regardez là-haut. Est-ce que c'était un pont-levis?
Oui, ce sont les supports. La porte a l'air encore très solide.
Cette église là-bas, était-elle à Guillaume le Conquérant?
Oui, c'était sa chapelle privée. Allons la voir.
Regardez la vieille porte. Les détails en sont très distincts.
Comme ce château était vaste.
Oui, n'est-ce pas? C'est vraiment un lieu romanesque avec son architecture romane.
Toute son histoire est romanesque. Le duc de Normandie aimait sa belle cousine Mathilde. Il s'est marié avec elle et le pape les a excommuniés. C'est pour apaiser le pape qu'ils ont construit les deux églises, l'abbaye aux hommes et l'abbaye aux dames.
Est-ce que l'abbaye aux dames existe encore?
Ni l'abbaye aux dames ni l'abbaye aux hommes n'ont été détruites pendant la guerre. Nous pouvons revenir par l'abbaye aux dames si vous voulez.
Oui, je veux bien. L'histoire de Guillaume le Conquérant m'intéresse. Mais auparavant, je veux écrire à mes parents pour leur raconter tout ce que j'ai vu.
Woo! That just kind of ended. I always forget that one. They start silent and they end silent. But hopefully we got our French on there. Pretty great. All right. Today, let's see, what do we got? One of the things that I sometimes succumb to, and I don't know why, but I usually get a really lousy summer cold, and I'm trying not to get one. And you would think being masked, being careful for COVID would keep me from getting it. But as you remember, back in was it April, I got a miserable cold. So, anyways, this is Encyclopedia Britannica talking about colds.
What do you think about the game tomorrow? I think we have a good chance of winning. We've got a good team this year. Who are you going to let pitch? Ted's pitching tomorrow, I think. He's got a good arm. Are you going to play shortstop? Yes, I think I will, and you're playing first base. You're good at it. Okay. Say, let's try this thing now. We've been sanding for quite a while. Let's see if it'll fit. You don't need to sneeze in my face. Oh, I couldn't help it. Well, I don't want to catch your cold. You can't catch colds that way. Yes, you can, and anyway, I don't like it. Well, what color are we going to paint this? Well, I don't know. Let's see. I think black would be better on the bottom, and then we could try a lighter shade on top. Like blue or something. That doesn't do any good. You have to cover your whole mouth. I tried. What do you mean? You can't cover your whole mouth? Sure, I can if I want to. You better do it then. Well, don't get sore at me. It's not my fault I have a cold.
John's right. Sneezing can spread germs, and colds are spread by germs. Here's John 2 days later, and he isn't feeling quite right.
Well, this is a surprise, finding you home at this time of day.
What time is it? I've got to go. I've got a game Saturday, and we've got practice this afternoon.
Now, just a minute. There's no need to be in such a hurry. You stay right here. I think I've discovered something more important than baseball at the moment. Why, John, I think you're taking a cold.
Well,
What did you say?
you're always worrying about something.
Even if John has a cold, he may not have any fever. If he does have fever, it may mean that he has measles or some other disease than a cold.
A cold can be a very serious thing, John. Nobody wants a cold.
Yeah, nobody wants them, but everybody gets them.
Well, perhaps. But you can keep a cold from becoming serious if you take care of yourself when you have the first symptoms. And you have symptoms, John. Now run along upstairs.
But, Mother...
Oh, I know. You're going to miss baseball practice this afternoon. But when you don't feel well, the best thing to do is to stay home and rest.
That's the trouble with mothers. Always making a fuss. Get a little tiny cold and they think you're going to die. What's the cold anyway? It can't hurt me.
Oh, run along. Hello, may I speak to Dr. Chase, please? Oh, Dr. Chase, this is Mrs. Harrison. Dr. Chase, what can I do with a boy who will not take a cold seriously? Well, of course, I'm not sure that he has a cold. Yes, he has a temperature of 99.
Now, you're sure his temperature is only 99? Otherwise, I couldn't let you bring him out. Before I talk to that young man about a cold, I'd better be sure that that's what it is. I'll give him a thorough examination.
Dr. Chase is finishing his examination. Many diseases have symptoms almost like those of a cold, so the doctor is making sure it's none of these. In particular, he has decided that it's not scarlet fever, not measles, and not diphtheria.
Now let's sit up. Hang your feet over the side. Breathe deeply through your mouth. Now cough for it. All right. Now say 99 and repeat it.
99, 99, 99, 99, 99, 99.
Now whisper. 1, 2, 3. Repeat it. 1, 2, 3. Good. Not much temperature. 99. That runny nose, it's probably a cold. Yeah, you can get dressed now. You weren't around anyone with a cold about 2 days ago, were you, Johnny?
Jimmy, he's my friend. He had a cold and sneezed all over the place. I may have caught his cold.
Maybe so. The cold spread in other ways, too. And you don't always catch every cold that you're exposed to. Maybe you did something yourself in the past day or two to help the cold get a start. You might have tired yourself out playing, got your feet wet, maybe a chill. Lots of things can upset your body enough to give you a cold.
I got pretty hot in the game a few days ago. Got so hot I poured water down my neck to cool off fast.
That might have done it.
Is there any medicine I can take?
If you start coughing, give me a ring. I'll send a prescription over to the drugstore. But there's no medicine that'll cure a cold. Now you take it easy at home, get plenty of rest, drink lots of water. In a few days, that cold will be gone.
A few days. The game is Saturday.
It's too bad, but you don't want to go spreading that cold around to everyone else. Besides, you get all tired out from playing, you're liable to get pneumonia.
Pneumonia, where does that come from?
It comes from germs that come in on top of a cold. Sometimes it may lead to something even worse.
How can a cold do that?
Well, that's a pretty tough question. I'll try to explain with this drawing. See? Now, the inside of your head looks something like that. When cold germs, we call them virus, get into your mouth or nose, they usually go back here. Now, if your resistance to colds is good, the cold virus is killed off or just stays here a short time without doing any harm. But when your resistance to colds is low, the virus may start to grow, and then you're in for infection for sure. What's more, the cold virus seems to help other germs, such as bacteria, to grow.
Where do those germs go?
Some of them may go up through here and get into your ear. Of course, then you have trouble with your ears. Or the germs may even get up into these places. They're called sinuses. If the germs spread here, they may give you sinus trouble.
What'll that do to me?
Well, the main thing is, sinus trouble means stuffed up feeling. And a headache, too. Then, too, as I told you before, the germs may go down into your lungs and start pneumonia. You know pneumonia can be very serious.
Will I get any of these things?
Not if you take care of yourself.
Well, I'll take care of myself.
I believe you will at that. There's a lot we don't know about colds, Johnny. But a few things certainly help. Keep yourself in good condition. Stay away from people with colds. And when you have a cold, use paper handkerchiefs or old clean cloths. And it's a good idea to pin a paper bag right onto the side of your bed to put these claws in, because they have virus on them and they have to be burned. And another thing, always be sure that your room is at a comfortable temperature. That's very important.
Gee, there sure are a lot of things to do for a cold.
That's right.
Yes, I agree. That doctor is very reasonable. A very reasonable man. You should have told me how serious a cold could be. Why, I might have been off the team all season just because I didn't take care of it in time. I'm going to bed. I'll take these tissues with me, and I'd appreciate it very much, Mother, if you'd bring me a few paper bags. And a safe pin.
So some of you might recognize the Doctor from Shy Guy. He plays Dick York's father, who's trying to help Dick York assimilate in the high school society. He's also in Right or Wrong. I think he plays a police officer. So anyways, he's he shows up in Cornette, some other Cornette films, but yeah, I love it. 99, 99, 99. All right, so behind me, I have a film scanner hooked up, and I have a film set up. And did I change the title right? Yeah, let's go ahead and watch that. Enjoy.
Gee, I wonder what's happened to Tarzan. Hi, Tarz. We were just talking about you.
Hi, Jane. Boy, what do you say we swing over to Nairobi?
Terrific. Maybe we can have a hamburger and take in a movie.
Oh, boy.
Let's go. Hey, I tell you what, after the movie, we'll go get some ice cream, okay? Hey? Oh, boy, I love ice cream. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Me, boy. You, Tarzan.
Me, Jane. You buckle up.
Right.
You buckle up, too.
Would you like to know how that film was made? Let's visit a movie studio and see.
Listen for sound.
Good.
Playback, please. Camera, will you check the gauge, please?
The first step in making a film is to write a script. Next, the script is given to a director.
The script and the seatbelt span. It's really good. I'd like you to read it. And then maybe we could get together right after that.
Good.
That's the script on the Tarzan spot, right?
Right, yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Wait,
I'll
I'll
talk
get
to you in
this
a few
phone
minutes.
call.
He calls an audition to select the actors.
We need 10-year-old boys to play the boy of Tarzan in this movie. About 3 will be enough. Let's hear you all do a Tarzan yell. Good, good. Josh, Joey, would you wait outside for a few minutes, please? Alan, what have you been doing lately in the way of stage plays or anything like that?
I was in the Nutcracker Ballet.
That's good. Pretend that I was going to take you to Disney World. What would you say?
Oh, boy.
Come on. How about a little more force on that oh boy? Try it again.
Oh, boy.
Fine. Why don't you wait outside, too, and we'll call you later, Alan. What do you think, Gail?
I think it was...
The director chooses the best actor for the part.
Yes, Jared.
The actresses are here. Do you want to see them now?
Fine. Send in the first one.
Well, I've done quite a few things since I've been here. Here's my resume. I've done quite a few films, industrial films mainly, and commercials, and I did a feature film last fall.
Oh, sure I swim. Yeah, and I jog, and I play a little racquetball. How about you? Play racquetball?
Gary, do you have the Tarzan set sketches ready?
Sure, Bruce, here they are.
Great.
Just finished them.
Good.
Since a special background or set is needed, he confers with a set designer. Many ideas are talked about and plans are drawn before the right one is chosen.
I like the treehouse. Looks like a treehouse for a boy. Car fits under the tree fine.
How about this one?
That's the one right there. I like the garage effect.
Great, I'm glad you like it.
Electric garage opener on this one?
Sure, of course.
The stage crew builds the set, and the film crew goes to work. Carpenters, electricians, makeup, prop men, sound man, and a cameraman.
Before the cast gets in, set up a medium shot this way.
For each scene in the film, the director decides what the camera and thus the audience will see on the screen.
Can I have the cast in, please?
Lighting is like painting. You can create the mood of the scene. The cameraman can make a scene look bright and cheerful.
Joe, put a blue gel in the deuce up there.
Or dark and scary.
Fine, fine.
The focus is checked, and the camera is lined up for the first scene.
Great. Remember, Jane, a little reaction when Tarzan comes swinging in.
Okay.
Okay. Sound ready?
I need a level.
How now, brown cow?
One more time.
Testing. How now, brown cow?
Now, Joe, lower your garage door.
Okay.
Okay, let's try a rehearsal.
Okay.
Action. Come on in, Arlen.
Tell ya, after the movie, we can go get some ice cream, okay?
Quite right for me. Let's do it once more. Come back. I cued Arlene a little too soon.
The director works with the actors to help them deliver their best performance.
Okay.
He plans all of their movements and rehearses them many times.
Tell you what, after the movie, we can go get some ice cream, okay? Boy, I love ice cream. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy.
Tarzan, me, boy.
Oh, okay.
Me, Jane, you buckle up.
Right.
Much better.
That it?
Much better. Cut. Let's do a take. Stand by and quiet, please. Roll sound.
Speed.
Roll camera.
Speed.
Slated. 6-3-33.
The slate helps get the sound and picture together. We'll see that later in editing.
And after the movie, we can go get some popcorn, okay? After that.
Cut. Let's do another take. Jane, come in just a little bit slower on this one.
Okay.
Let's do it once more. Let's roll sound.
Speed.
Camera.
Speed. Slated.
6-4-34.
Anybody do anything about lunch?
Quiet, please. And action.
And, after the movie, we can go get some ice cream, okay? Oh, I love ice cream. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy.
Cut. That was great. Can I have a playback? Let's wrap it all up for
indicated, as are the titles. The titles, of course, are made in the art department and then photographed on the title stand.
Remember, buckle up for safety. Is that okay, Bruce? Is that what you want?
The narration is recorded on one track.
Take two. Remember, buckle up for safety.
And the music and sound effects are recorded on separate tracks. All the soundtracks, dialogue, narration, music, and sound effects are mixed or blended together and re-recorded onto one track.
Yeah, then they should come down when Tarzan comes in.
Here it comes. They're going down.
Look good to me. How about
I think
you?
we got one problem there yet. Maybe we ought to look one more time.
Try it again?
After the film is edited and mixed to everyone's satisfaction, it's sent to the film laboratory, where all the pieces of film and sound are printed and processed together. In sync, onto one piece of film, just like the one in your projector. They're all still pictures. They don't move. But when projected, they go by so fast, our eyes think they're moving. That's the magic of movies. It's really all a trick. And now that you know how we make movies, would you like to see the film again and see if you can spot the contributions of the technical people like the sound men, mechanical people like the electricians and carpenters, creative people like the artists and writers, and multi-talented people like the cameraman, the editor, and the director.
Action.
Gee, I wonder what's happened to Tarzan. Hi, Tarz. We were just talking about you.
Hi, Jane. Boy, what do you say we swing over to Nairobi?
Terrific. Maybe we can have a hamburger and take in a movie.
Oh, boy.
Let's go. Hey, I tell you what, after the movie, we'll go get some ice cream, okay? Hey? Oh, boy, I love ice cream. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Me, boy. You, Tarzan.
Me, Jane. You buckle up.
Right.
You buckle up, too.
Remember, buckle up for safety.
Well, there you go. That shows how they make an educational film. There you go. So speaking of actors that look familiar, the Tarzan dad was in Purely Coincidental, that film about food safety that everybody got bummed out about because a dog died in the film. Anyways, and he does show up in other films. I've seen him in some other things that we've located, so there you go. Even though school's almost over, it's important to keep up with your studies. Enjoy.
Say, softball is just the game for a fine spring afternoon, isn't it? But what's this? Somebody has to go home? And take his glove with him? Oh, it's Earl Wilson. What's that, Earl? You have studying to do. Studying? Why, you have just as much time to study at school as anyone else, don't you? But you're way behind. You have 2 weeks' work to catch up in all your subjects. The others still think you should stay. Jack wonders just how anyone could be 2 weeks behind. And don't you wish you knew? But you are behind, and so you have to study now. Why can't you keep up with your studies? Why can't you keep up? Well, Earl, do you really make good use of your study time? You know, it may be pleasant to have the radio going, but it can interfere with your work. And if it isn't the radio, it's the phone. No, you haven't chosen the best place in the world to study. And your mother knows it. She knows that you'll get more done in your own room. It's quiet here for concentration. Now, what was that assignment? What's this? Can't go on that hike. Not when you're 2 weeks behind. Can't play much ball either. How do you get so far behind? Why can't you keep up in study time at school? School, yes. In study period this very day you started with good intentions. You'll try to catch up with your history assignment, if you can find out what it is. Maybe Jack is going to do the same one. Jack's getting his materials ready for dictionary, pencils, notebook, and text. Maybe now he'll start on his history. No, science. Well, you have that history assignment written down somewhere, don't you, Earl? Chapter 9, or is that a 7? We'll have to ask Jack for the assignment after all. And Jack has no trouble finding it. Read Chapter 7. Be prepared to discuss questions at the end of chapter. You'll be lucky to get the chapter read, much less be prepared for discussion. Still, perhaps you ought to take notes as you read. Let's see. Can't take notes with that pencil. So you lose more time while you sharpen your pencil. But look at Jack. He seems to have finished his science work and is ready to start on his next subject. Well, a one-page theme can be easy, too, if it's written from a careful outline. But you just can't understand how Jack does it. Here, Jack has finished one assignment and is well along on another, and the period has barely started. In 15 minutes, you can accomplish a lot, or very little. And before very long, Jack has accomplished a lot more. He's done some good work on his theme for English. And since he doesn't need any reference books for that, he can finish his theme at home. Now for the next subject. This time it is history. Let's hope Jack does better with his history than you do, because you can't understand what the chapter's all about, can you, Earl? The great something or other. Whatever it is, it's an important word in the lesson. See? All through the chapter, that same word. Well, you think you can figure it out just by reading the chapter. but you'll never understand the lesson without knowing what schism means. Let's see what Jack does about a problem like that. Oh, the dictionary. That's a simple enough answer. Of course, you would have saved some time if you had placed your dictionary where you could use it. Meanwhile, Jack has already found the word in his dictionary, and he's set to better understand his history lesson. And so the time passes. Now for Jack's fourth subject. He's already done most of this assignment. He worked out his mathematics problems in assigned study time in class, and now he's going to recopy them. And you, Earl, still in the history book. But you'll have to try some of your other assignments, too, even if you aren't sure what the history lesson is about. Let's see, where's the mathematics assignment? Here. These problems. Hard ones, too. Maybe your teacher could have, if you'd used that study time in class instead of doodling. Well, when you spend your study time like that, it's no wonder you're in your room now studying instead of playing ball. And your folks say you can't go on that weekend hike unless you're doing better in your studying. How can you catch up? Where should you begin? Well, the only thing you can do is start right away doing your daily study assignments regularly, every day, with a little extra effort to catch up. Now, where's that history assignment? What's this? Why, it's a list of rules your homeroom teacher gave you at the start of the term. Study each subject every day. And in order to do your assignments regularly, you'll have to record each assignment. Write it down and understand it. Now, as you've learned, you must make use of all your study time. So the next rule is this. Plan time for all assignments, so you'll keep up with every subject. Then, get ready to work. That means make sure your books, pencils, and notebook are ready. Then, you can study thoroughly and carefully. Some good rules to follow, aren't they, Earl? Do something about that notebook. Who knows what you might find in there? So you straighten up your notebook and divide it into sections. One section for each subject. You have an organized place for class notes and for a record. In each section of your notebook, you place an assignment page. Here you check off your assignments when you've done them, and you keep records of future assignments as well. In your study period, you check all your assignments. You've made use of the allotted study time in class. Now you plan your time, so you'll be sure to complete all your studies. Then you get ready to work. You put your dictionary in a handy place. You make sure your pencils are ready. You sit comfortably, in good posture, ready to work. And then you make progress. You follow those daily study rules. Study each subject every day. Record each assignment. Plan time for all assignments and get ready to work. Then you study. Following the rules, you get more out of your studying. And you find you have more time for ball games. And your grades are better. Look at that. And when the day comes for the hike, you're set to go. You're keeping up with your studies every day. And now you can feel free for fun. It's better that way, isn't it?
weird damage on it. Yeah, really strange. Kind of this weird little... It's like someone took a pencil eraser and then like took whatever, used it, and then kind of sprinkled it all on the film. A lot of rubber shavings. So every once in a while, I run across kind of cool stuff. Like this is a mailer. It says, mail back first thing please at your post office. Use stamp label in film case. Thank you. And then also, like, this mailer is really kind of this weird puzzle. In that it has, where is it? Yeah, like there's this lock here, and there's different ones of these. The Plylos have this little twist, and they're brown, but this one locks like this, and I couldn't remember which position was unlocked and which was locked. But this also has puppets. So this has puppets in it, and I love you guys, right? That I have my little things that I like to collect. I like to collect films about venereal disease, of which we've seen many. I like films that have film projectors in it, where people sit and watch a film, an educational film in an educational film. And the other thing I like are really bad Christian kids TV shows. So here we go. This is, let me type this in. It's the Good Time Growing Show. Enjoy.
Everybody's got to grow. Grow, 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 grow. Everybody's got to grow. People are like seeds planted in the ground so they can grow. If our hearts take root in the goodness of God's love, Jesus makes a planted seed to grow. He makes it grow. Grow, 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 grow. Everybody's got to grow. Grow, 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 grow. Everybody's got to grow. Have a good time growing. 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 Have a good
Wow. I'm in big trouble. Why? It's my teacher. She's really mad at me. When my teacher's mad, my dad's mad. What happened, Josh? What happened to your nose? I had to stand in the corner because I was talking in class. I got bored just standing there and what happened? I just didn't want to stand there for 10 minutes. I started a game. It was nose rub. You had to rub your nose on the wall for 100 times. I guess I rubbed my nose too many times. I rubbed a big sore on the end of it, and it's hurting. Oh, Josh. The worst part of all, we have to get our family picture tomorrow when my Dad sees my nose when I come home today, he's gonna be real mad. And then he's gonna say, what have I been doing? He's gonna be mad at me because I broke a rule. I won't look like me forever and ever.
That is bad.
Any person that comes to my house, he's gonna say, see, that's Josh. He broke a rule. And I told him that when he breaks rules, he gets restricted and he don't have the fun time like go out to recess. I told his teacher and do all the bad things because one rule costs us for 4 weeks. And the picture of me is gonna have a big mark on me forever.
We all broke rules. My grandma read it to me. Even your dad broke rules.
Not my dad. He makes all the rules in my house. I mean, my dad, when he makes rules, he makes rules.
Maybe it's your house, Josh, but not all the rules. But not the rules that really count. The rules that really count are the rules that God made. Except they're not really rules like don't spill your milk, don't talk, all those people rules.
We have enough rules, all right. School rules, that's for sure. Because last year when I looked and I just looked on this other person, when I was just looking around the room, I had to go to the principal's office, and my dad already told the principal, if I get a spanking, I get a spanking at home. And I kind of like the bus rules. And the dad rules is kind of hard to keep up. And the mom rules, you have to make up your bed, clean up your room, wash the dishes, take out the garbage, and all those other certain things. And then when it's free time, you can do anything that you want to. And that's the most funnest part about it, like free time. I wish there wasn't no rules at all.
Moms and teachers have to make rules. 'Cause they're smarter than us, Josh. They've lived on Earth longer than us, so they have to be smarter than us. We can't have kids making the rules. Everybody would want something different, like old Russell there.
Oh no, Russell's gonna tell the whole school and I'm gonna be embarrassed.
What's up, punk?
Not much.
What's wrong with the new kid?
Nothing, leave him alone.
Hey, he's got a tongue. Let him answer for himself. I asked you a question, Squirt.
Nothing, I had a little accident.
Oh no, look at you, Squirt. Hey, what happened? Did you fall off your tricycle?
Come on, Russell.
You want one on your nose, punk?
Why do you always want to pick on kids that are smaller than you are?
Because I'm the biggest and what I say goes. Under punishment of punch-out.
That doesn't mean you're always right, Russell, just because you're bigger.
You are asking for it, punk.
Just leave us alone, Russell.
Well, lucky for you guys, I happen to be hungry. But you two, watch your step, punk.
Thanks, Mickey.
That's okay, Josh. I just decided I didn't have to go by Russell's rules. There's enough rules without a bully's rules, too.
Why does Russell make people to do what he says? Because he's the biggest and the strongest in the school?
Probably because he doesn't have to follow any rules himself. So he just makes up rules for everybody else.
Yeah, he must have too many rules. He must not even follow any. Oh no, is lunch over? I gotta face that teacher again.
I like that with that. Right. Oh, I never dreamed of making up rules. so much fun. Oh, hello, Arthur.
Oh, hi,
I've
Boaz.
just been working my little
what is
dragon
it
claws
you've been
to
up to?
the quick.
What's that?
Making rules, Arthur. Making rules. Rules make the world go round.
Making rules, huh? Are these your rules?
That's what it says. Boaz's rules.
That's a lot of rules. What started you on this rule-making binge?
Well, I've gotten tired of obeying everybody else's rules, so I decided to make up some rules of my own. If anyone wants to come visit my cave, they have to obey my rules.
I see.
Well, take for instance, rule number 1. Nobody should stand where Boaz says not to stand. Excuse me, would you not stand there?
Oh, sorry.
That's quite all right. You'll learn. Rule number 2. Visitors should compliment the host. That's me. With regularity.
Yes, Boaz, you look especially handsome today.
Oh, why, thank you, Arthur. Now, for rule number 3.
Excuse me, Boaz, but what is the purpose of all these rules?
What purpose do these rules have? I don't know. Well, they're just rules.
But Boaz, rules without a purpose, why, they're meaningless.
But they're like all the other rules, aren't they?
Boaz, just because you make up something and call it a rule doesn't mean it is one. All good rules have a purpose.
Oh, yeah? Well, what purpose does look both ways before crossing the street have?
Well, if you didn't, you might get run over by a car.
Oh, yeah. Well, I forgot about cars. But, okay. What about rules like sharing and please and thank you and may I be excused? What dumb rules.
They're not dumb. They're good rules, and each of them have a reason. When people obey them, it makes this world a nicer place to live.
Yeah. But what about rules I can't figure out?
Well, some rules, Boaz, especially those from God, are always for our own good. You see, God knows what's good for us better than anyone else. Sometimes, maybe, we can't figure out why a rule is like it is. But we can believe that God wouldn't make a rule unless he had a good reason. And it is this: he loves us. That's why he gave us some rules to keep us safe and happy and close to him.
Oh well, I guess I'm not as good a rule maker as God. I'd better take these down and work on them some more.
Well, why do you need any rules anyway, Boaz?
Well, everyone else has rules. I think I should have some rules too.
I see.
You know what? I'm starting to like this rule-making business. Goodbye. Hello. I'm going to go on tablet and
Rules. Things that you have to keep, or if you don't, you might get in trouble. They're for our safety. The reason why you have rules is because if you do something that you're not supposed to do, you may hurt someone or something. Like you don't run, and you don't push, and you wait till your turn. You can't throw rocks. And you don't talk in school. I'm not allowed to hurt my little brother. go in the street without someone walking you across. At school, we have rules not to fight, not to pinch, and not to push anybody out. Climbing on the fence when you're not supposed to. Some of the rules are we have to keep the house picked up, or to wash the dishes and set the table for dinner, and to take out the trash and clean up your room. Like, if a school says you shouldn't chew gum at school, you shouldn't do it. Or if it says not to, try not to hit people and be bad to them, you should try not to do it. Some bad rules are like over in Russia, they have a rule that if nobody can read the Bible. Well, God's rules are better because they tell you the right things to do, and some of the rules that people make up, they're the wrong things to do. Obey what God says, and our parents, and whoever is older than us. Well, so you can follow them and make sure that you're doing the right thing. And God is more perfect than people, and he made rules that obey your mother and father, and you will live long on the earth, and don't hurt your neighbor in his body. You shouldn't pray to idols or anything like that, or pray worship your money and stuff. You should worship God. God says that we shouldn't steal. That's one of the rules too. Obey your parents. Don't have any other gods before you. Because we're acting good and we're trying to be like Jesus, and we know Jesus would do that, so we do it. Try and be like him.
Stop! It's a stop sign.
That's right. Well, and there's a visitor parking sign.
No through traffic.
Rules are all over, Boaz.
Don't walk, fly.
Well, dragons can do that.
People can't.
No shirt, no shoes, and no servants.
I wonder if that man's wearing shoes.
No smoking, Boaz.
Well, dragons have to smoke whenever they breathe fire.
Rules are important. I like this one here. No refunds, no returns, and no exchanges.
That's where my mother got me.
Employees only, Boaz.
Well, does that mean that the boss can't go in there?
Only if he's got his shoes.
Oh.
No tacos on Sundays.
Well, I wonder if that's because all of the tacos are in church.
Ow. I can't believe that I did this to my nose. It hurts still. Probably no one else ever did that to their nose. Just me. Did your teacher say any more about your nose, Josh? Nope, I guess this would make me remember. Oh no, I hope my dad doesn't get too mad, or this is the last of my bus ride. You remember what I said, Josh? My dad and your dad, they have to follow rules too. All grown-ups have to follow rules. You mean rules like president and policeman and fireman rules? Yep, but there's bigger rules than that. Even the policeman and president have broken those rules. The president? Are you sure? That's what God says, Josh. He says everybody in the whole world has broken God's rules. And we both know God doesn't lie. Oh, me, I forgot about God. I guess he's mad at me, too. He's probably mad at all of us if everyone broke the rules. No, he isn't, Josh. He's just the opposite. He loves everybody. Every single person. He sent Jesus. That's his only son, remember? And because that's his only son, we don't look like we broke the rules. It would be like looking through a different camera and not seeing that big lump on your nose. I don't understand at all. but I know he loves us because of what Jesus did. You mean he forgets about all the bad things we did? Just because of Jesus? That's what he says in the Bible, Josh. It's kind of like putting on a new whole us when he looks through that camera. He shows us as a new Mickey and Josh because of what Jesus did for us. I wonder what Russell looks like through that camera. Well, one thing for sure, if he belongs to Jesus like we do, God would see him through a whole different camera. Why do we have to keep the rules, Mickey, when God isn't mad at us? Oh, that's easy, Josh. We keep the rules because we love him too. It's kind of like this. You remember you told me about your dog, Buff? Well, he loved you and you loved him, didn't you? You bet, more than anything in the whole world. Well, I bet he wouldn't do anything on purpose to make you mad. Or he wouldn't bite your friends and stuff, would he? He wouldn't do something like that. And even if he did something like that, I bet he was sorry. You bet. Buff loved me. He was my best friend. And I was his best friend. And we went and we played. If Will wasn't here, me and him would play catch. I would throw the ball, he would catch the ball. Or he played frisbee. And he could throw it with his mouth. And he could do all the things that I taught him. And he was my best friend. He was my second best friend. And you're my first, Mickey. Well, it's kind of like that. We love Jesus and he loves us. So we don't mess up or goof up on purpose, do we? And we love him even more than Buff loved you. So that's why we try not to break his rules. You're always telling me things that I didn't know, Mickey. That's what friends are for, Josh. So when you get your picture tomorrow and your dad says, "Look at Josh, he broke the rules," you don't have to be sad because you know God sees you in a whole different way. Wow. Wow. Yeah, see?
Hello, Boaz.
Oh, hello, Arthur.
Been working on your rules?
You bet. I've got it narrowed down to 2 rules.
All right, Boaz. What are they?
Rule number 1. No one visiting Boaz's cave is allowed to hit, bite, scratch, gouge, bop, or punch out Boaz, whose, as I said, this cave it is.
Well, that's a good rule. It goes along with God's rule to treat others like you would like them to treat you.
Yes, I thought it was an outstanding rule. You don't think God would mind if I sort of borrowed one of his rules, do you?
No, I guess not.
Okay. Rule number 2. I like this one. Anyone who comes to Boaz's cave must pay the owner, namely Boaz, $500 for taking up his time, which of course is very valuable. How about that one? It's more original.
Well, that's true. But who do you think is going to pay you $500 just to come see you, Boaz? What's the purpose of that rule?
Why, to make me lots of money.
Exactly as I thought. That's a selfish reason for a rule, Boaz. Rules aren't supposed to be for selfish reasons, are they? No, they're supposed to be for the good reasons.
Oh, rats! No one told me that! Oh well, back to the drawing board.
Well, bye-bye, everyone. I hope we all learned a lot about rules today, especially Boaz. $500. Good grief. Bye-bye, and remember, have a good time growing. Bye.
Everyone's got to grow. Everyone's got to grow. Everyone's got to grow. Everyone's got to grow. Sometimes growing's not easy to do. Makes a young one wonder if he gonna make it through. It won't last forever, I'm telling you true. There's a time and a season, and God has his reason. Everyone got to grow. In America, everyone got to grow. Everyone must grow. Everyone got to grow. In Canada too, everyone got to grow. And in Africa, everyone got to grow. In Jamaica too, everyone got to grow. I must, everyone got to grow.
I'm sorry, and you're welcome. Oh boy. Yeah, that was rough. That was rough. It's not the worst Christian kids television show that I have on film, but man, they just that kid just stumbling through his lines, and then they just had a puppet saying it. It was just, they're like, yeah, that's okay. Best take. Let's go with that. Holy cow. And then the C.S. Lewis aspect of the lion, and then there was a dragon. Crazy. So yes, I like collecting Christian television shows. The one I have, the Sunshine Factory one, I have 2 of those, and they feature Jim J. Bullock of Too Close for Comfort, and some other, I guess he was also on Hollywood Squares. Anyways, he plays a villain. And I don't know if I've shown those. Have I shown those? Say in the comments. Would you be interested in seeing those at some point? Because those do have songs throughout, and puppets and kids, and it's a little bit more, it's not as slow paced. So anyways, so I did a show called God Awful, which was basically these types of films. So there you go. You got to see one of them. Thanks for tuning in. I know you guys probably are like, "Ooh, that was brutal." You're welcome to reward us by buying us coffee. Even if you didn't like today's show or this last film, you could go to ko-fi.com/avgeeks. You can go to avgeeks.com and see other things we have online. But, yeah, you can hit the thumbs up button. And I should say that I have 2 copyright strikes on my YouTube channel because of the company that now is distributing Mr. Wizard videos. And they went in and decided that they owned the content. And so I'm trying to negotiate and get those taken off because, believe it or not, they don't own the content. One of the films isn't even copyrighted to them. It's copyrighted to the Serial Institute. So I'm trying to be nice and say, hey, please take down the copyright strikes because they're not appropriate. I'm happy to take down the films, but, But anyways, so at some point, I might not be on YouTube anymore because of weird stuff like this. Just like yesterday, the show got taken off later because some Latin American educational show used a snippet from Vibrations, and they claimed it, and they don't have a right to it. So it's actually owned by Encyclopedia Britannica, who I've been working with. So again, it's these spurious copyright things that are always getting me in trouble. So if one day I'm not here, look for me on Facebook, or look for me on Twitch, or look for me on that Monoplex, Black Hole Monoplex, because I'll be there, or Twitter. I'm trying to think of an alternative at some point that we can all go to, etc. Yeah, I only have so many hours in the day. So, yeah. Everybody have a great weekend, and we'll be back on Monday, provided YouTube hasn't gotten rid of me. So, take care, everybody. Have a good time.